it's interesting seeing how things have changed, and I think we as a society are maybe more informed than we used to be, that we kind of expect a little more than we used to do as well, you know?
Right.
We want to spend a few moments here, which is on Andrew's always popular Ultimate Whey.
It's May. A lot of folks focus on weight loss now because summer is coming.
Indeed it is.
We have our secure meal replacements. We make secure meal replacement with soy protein, whey protein, and even marine collagen protein. But what I just wanted to show was our protein powder. A lot of folks start working out more and they're, say, reducing their caloric intake. They still want to make sure they're getting quality protein. This is the highest quality protein you'll find anywhere. It also, I'll show you in a moment, mixes with water. But you won't find another protein product like this. It's, as you look at just this chart right here, it's 10 grams of whey protein isolate, which is just a small scoop. That's per serving. There's no fat. There's no trans fat. There's no saturated fat. There's no cholesterol. This, despite it being derived from whey protein, which is a dairy-derived source. No carbohydrate, no sugar. So even folks who are lactose intolerant, you should just try the product. You could return it if it doesn't work for you. But it's got such low levels of sugar that it's considered sugar-free. Low sodium, no added soy. Most whey protein products add soy for solubility, and a lot of people are using whey to avoid soy. No flavors added, no sweeteners added, no artificial ingredients. You add it to a smoothie, you add it to your oatmeal. It almost tastes like you added a little bit of milk because the only hint of flavor it has is a slight dairy flavor. So in a smoothie, it's wonderful. Even a vegetable smoothie, we'll add it at home. A fruit smoothie, we'll add it at home, or even in your oatmeal. It mixes perfectly, as I'll show you. It even mixes simply in a glass of water. It's good I'm getting my whey protein and my marine collagen peptides here. But where is a scoop? Is there a scoop here?
Why is sodium not good? There's always a big thing around sodium.
And there's a lot of discussion in terms of sodium because not everyone is necessarily sodium sensitive. But sodium is something that in many individuals, increased intake of sodium is associated with a significantly increased rate of hypertension, meaning high blood pressure. But again, it's not a perfect relationship, not a perfect correlation, but in large populations, reducing sodium intake, and there were just some interesting studies on it recently, and they go both ways. But sodium is something that we love the taste of sodium, but we want to make sure that we're like anything. We're consuming, we want it in that healthy level. So we don't want to be consuming too much sodium because sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, these are the electrolytes that should exist in our body in a healthy balance. And again, sodium is something that we should watch our intake of sodium, and when we're like with glucosamine or chondroitin, we don't want sodium, we don't need to be getting extra sodium for our supplements. Let's get the sodium with the foods that we might want it to be more palatable. And again, of course, being moderate. But as you saw, this is a whey protein isolate. I kind of took it for granted. I stirred it for about 5 seconds, and it mixes completely. And the only thing it will taste like, it will just taste like a little bit like a hint of milk. Otherwise, no flavor.
And again, please feel free to try it. One of the things that Andrew will always tell you, if you don't like it, you return it and you get all of your money back. So feel encouraged to give it a go.
As you saw, I took 2 scoops, mixed it in about 8 ounces of water, and I just drank it. It's not chunky, everything is in solution, and there's nothing left in the glass. So it's unlike and that's an incredibly high quality protein. I defy you to find a higher quality protein, a purer protein, anywhere in the world. We add nothing to it.
So let's head over this way to Cholesterol.
Right.
And I do want to save at least a minute at the end of the show. I have a question for Andrew to
And there was a good
round
question on Cholesterol amongst the questions that were asked. And so many of the things we're talking about are questions that I've been asked.
Yes.
But if you're taking our Choco Nuvo, each piece of Choco Nuvo is the equivalent of a capsule of Cholesterol.
Okay.
Cholesterol is plant sterols Choco Nuvo is plant sterol esters. They both have the same effectiveness. They are both at the same level of potency. So it was a question. So you could use them interchangeably. For those of you who like having a piece of chocolate with each meal, then you don't have to have your Cholesterol separately anymore. So it's something, they are the exact same mechanism of action, and they both are exceptionally effective at lowering our total cholesterol and our LDL, our bad cholesterol. Many people have told me that they struggle to remember which is good, which is bad. LDL is the bad one. I always say, if you can't remember, just remember lousy. So LDL is lousy. HDL is the good, and you know, people say the VLDL, that's very lousy. So, and HDL is the happy cholesterol. That's the one you want high, HDL. So, but in terms of total and LDL cholesterol, you could have a significant reduction. One capsule of Cholesterol, say with each meal, maybe 2 capsules at a very large meal. All you need to do is take a minimum of 2 capsules daily, and what it can deliver is reductions of 10, 15, 20% or more. There's research clinical studies that show when you combine it with a healthy diet, high in fiber, lower saturated fat and cholesterol, you can get reductions of 40%, which we've seen in many, many reviews.
Andrew, is cholesterol and cholesterol issues associated with a certain time frame in your life where it starts to become more serious?
Not necessarily. Cholesterol in some of us can get worse as we get older, but like most things, as we get older, whatever, say if our numbers are a little out of line when we're young, that deviation becomes more meaningful and more problematic as we get older. Certainly, there are a lot of things more important than cholesterol in terms of cardiovascular risk, like our blood pressure, like our blood sugar in my mind, like our overweight and obesity. Cholesterol becomes very meaningful at its extremes when it becomes significantly high. What's wonderful about Cholesterol is it can deliver such a significant reduction without side effect. So it could reduce, say if your cholesterol is 225, and it might not be enough to warrant taking a drug or medication, but it warrants concern. And your LDL might be 130, 140 or so. With using Cholesterol, you can reduce that, say, by 15 or 20%. All of a sudden, that cholesterol level could be 175, 180, 185, and your LDL can suddenly be 100 to 110, which dramatically will change your doctor's perspective on your cardiovascular risk, particularly in light of if you have other factors in play like blood sugar or blood pressure, things like that. So it's something that's exceedingly effective. It works perfectly, just as Choco Nuvo does, with any cholesterol-lowering drug. The principal ones I think most people take are the statin drugs. Statin drugs work as an inhibitor of the HMG-CoA reductase in the liver. It inhibits cholesterol synthesis. Zetia works on sort of the metabolism of cholesterol in terms of the liver, so in terms of our digestive system. So Zetia is a different mechanism, but again, this works through your digestive system, so you don't have to worry about it having a negative impact with any of those drugs. What I've mentioned a couple of times, it's worthy of discussing with your doctor. Don't do this on your own, but talk to your doctor. If you take a statin drug, there's great research that says whatever benefit you're getting from that statin drug, especially if you're taking one of those with a longer half-life, like what is it, I think it's rosuvastatin, Crestor, a couple of the others, that you could go every other day and your numbers won't change. So, and when you go every other day, you're having your dose, you're dramatically reducing risk of side effect. With Zetia, the typical dosage, recommended dosage is 10 milligrams. I think that's the only pill that's available, perhaps. That you could cut that in half at 5 milligrams, and I think the clinical studies have said that your cholesterol number will not really change significantly. Again, having the dose dramatically reduces side effects. So again, talk to your doctor about this. It's not necessarily something that your doctor might even be aware of, but there is research out there, and because I'm always drowning in research, I might as well share it. And again, don't act upon it on your own, just talk to your doctor about it.
If you're looking to lower your cholesterol, certainly investigate this product. And you know, I think for a lot of us, when we think about reviews and people commenting on something, it is human nature that the most of us leave negative reviews, or we're more open to complain about something if it's not right. Well, with Andrew, it's the complete reverse of that. Folks, there are thousands of people that say, oh my gosh, I have to share my story. And this is a great example.
Oh no, Cholesterol is, in terms of reviews, it's one of those products where the numbers, you know, the numbers don't lie. And also, With all the pressure the FDA had from the drug companies to not approve a natural ingredient to lower total and LDL cholesterol, for the FDA to do that, all it speaks is to the reliability of that ingredient, the trustworthiness of the ingredient, the safety of the ingredient. So it's a natural product. It doesn't come with any side effects or warnings, but it's a wonderful way to do something that we all seek. But most of the time when we have to seek outside to fix it, we're fixing it with a drug or medication, which comes with side effects and issues. And we want to do that, again, as carefully, cautiously, as judiciously as possible. And many people aren't candidates for taking the statin drugs because of the way they affect them. Also, if you take a statin drug, it's a HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, that enzyme in your liver. In so doing, it's also an inhibitor of CoQ10 synthesis. So you're synthesizing less CoQ10 necessary for muscle function, energy function, cellular function. So again, you should be supplementing coenzyme Q10 if you are taking a statin drug, at least 200 milligrams daily. Absolutely, positively. If you read the reviews of Fibromucil, people have a love affair with this product, just as they say do with circulation vein support. But talk about a fiber product that will not upset your stomach, that will not cause bloating, will not cause gas, and all it does is gently helps move things through you in a comfortable fashion, helps support regularity in a comfortable fashion, because it's hard or impossible to be regular without adequate fiber intake. And one of the defining characteristics of the American diet is inadequate fiber intake. Also, if you want your numbers with Cholesterol, if you want to add another 5% or so in the reduction that you get with Cholesterol, every time you take a capsule of Cholesterol, take 1 or 2 capsules of Fibromucil. Cholesterol kind of acts like a sponge. It really blocks the absorption of the cholesterol in your body, the blocks the reabsorption of bile. And what Fibromucil does acts as like a broom, sweeping it out. So between the two, you get even better cholesterol reduction and an even greater improvement in terms of your cardiovascular risk profile.
So, Andrew, as we come to the end of the show, there is a question I want to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Okay? If you